Welcome to Geneva, New York. I'm here for a high school quiz bowl tournament tomorrow, so I'm in my hotel room, a microtel, right across from a really good restaurant, and I figured this is as good of a location as any to tell you about all the speakers that I gave away to Guitar Center. Not really gave away, I sold them and got credit and was able to buy new things. I'll tell you about those at the very end. You've seen most, if not all, of these speakers at various gig logs, and I'll try to go into a little bit of detail as to why I decided to get rid of all of them. First, on the docket, I got rid of my pair of RCF 708A tops. 8-inch speakers. They worked really well, no problems with them at all. You may have noticed the most recent gig log as of this recording. Jennifer and Angelica's wedding, I used one of those for ceremony. The issue I have with those speakers is that they just do not get loud enough. I've mentioned this before. I know that RCF speakers Unity is not at 12 o'clock with the volume knobs, it's kind of turned all the way up, but the sound profile on them was weird. They kind of needed matching bottom end in order to sound really nice, and 8-inch tops I was not going to use as a primary speaker. I got those when I coupled them with 12-inch EV subs back in the day, when I wanted to have a lighter trivia setup, let's say around 2016, 2017. Brian S. Red, I believe, is the YouTube DJ that profiled the micro setup, and I kind of worked with that a little bit. You can check out his channel if you're so inclined to see what he does. But that's why I ended up getting rid of the RCFs, simply because I barely used them and they did not get loud enough for ceremonies, really. Next up, some tops you've definitely seen before, the QSC K10.2s. I had 3 of those and I got rid of all of them. Why did I get rid of them? Well, I have 3 because in 2021, at one of my last trivias at Tags, that's when I was doing trivia on Tuesdays, when I made my gig log / how to do pub trivia video. And they put me out on the second floor deck, and it always rained in 2021, very rainy summer. And I got water damage in one of the speakers, so I had to get a replacement. But I was able to get the first one all tuned up and in working order again, so I had 3. And the reason I ended up getting rid of those speakers worked fantastically, but I wanted to upgrade them, so my new tops that I ended up getting are an upgrade from that. And I guess I'll bury the lead now. My new tops, I got a pair of QSC KW122s. The main difference is obviously a 12-inch speaker versus a 10-inch speaker, and we have the birch wood cabinets as opposed to the polycarbonate cabinet. At first, I didn't mind having the plastic speakers, the lack of weight was a nice feature, but over time, you listen to the profile of those enough and you can hear it. You can hear the difference in the plastic versus the wood. So that's why I decided, okay, now's the time, let's just upgrade to the wood and get it over with. Other speakers you've seen a ton of times, I got rid of my pair of Bose S1 Pros. I use those for ceremonies and cocktails all the time. Again, nothing wrong with them. But the main problem I've always had with those speakers, and I had 2 of them, was that there was no XLR out. You can do a 1/4 inch out, but there's no XLR out. And they have the Bose S1 Pro Pluses, which have that out, and much improved battery life over the standard S1 Pros. So it was kind of a swap, really. I got rid of my S1 Pros and I got 2 S1 Pro Pluses instead. I actually ran a pub trivia locally for a country club that I've done for about 5 years now, roughly once a month, and I completely reconfigured it with the new Bose S1 Pro Pluses, and they sound louder. They have a better variance in terms of the angle that the sound travels. I think it's 120 for those speakers, and the fact that you can do many more things, and it comes with slots where you can put Bluetooth receivers, vast improvement. If you're gonna get Bose speakers, I know that there's issue with Bose, we'll get to more of those. Definitely go with the S1 Pro Pluses and avoid the S1 Pros if you're gonna try to have multiple uses for that. If you're just a musician and you just want an out to bring with you, then yeah, the S1 Pro is great. But for mobile DJ purposes, if you want to daisy chain things, yeah, go with the Pro Pluses. The additional $100 per speaker is worth it. And since we're staying in the Bose family, one of the greatest things I've had to get rid of are my Bose F1 series, the 2 812 tops and the 2 subwoofers. They are gone. I've gotten rid of those. The tops worked perfectly fine. They had that feature where you could compress either the top or bottom of the grill. You can change the angle at which the sound travels. You know, you think about it, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be on a stage. I can angle it so it moves downward. Or if I'm at the base of stands, I can, you know, compress the top and have it move upward. I never use this. I can understand if you're in certain settings, but it's so dependent on where you play. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna play at a wedding or some sort of function and you're just gonna shoot sound straight forward. And because the subs and the 812s are supposed to be on top of each other, it's a static height. You cannot adjust the height of the speakers. And the number one issue I always had with just the way that the sound waves traveled out of the 812 tops, they constantly bounced off people and would bounce back toward me, and I would get like a vertigo kind of sensation where sound waves would be coming back at me. Even with earplugs in, it always disoriented me, and I would think that there'd be a problem with the speaker. Like there was a reverse cardioid effect going on of some kind, but no, it's just the fact that the sound was bouncing. I don't know what Bose does with that. Maybe it's because, you know the phrase, no highs, no lows, must be Bose. But whatever the frequency is of those particular sound waves, they love to just bounce back directly at me. And naturally, if I'm gonna get rid of the tops, I'm gonna get rid of the subs. But the subs I got rid of, they were nice, 55-pound subs, 12 inches, but I hated the design of those. Specifically at the very base of the subs, they had this plastic bar that's sitting at the bottom. I don't know if it was for protective purposes, but that thing always got beat up and caught on things. And when I got those 2 subs in the mail back in fall of 2022, they came dented, fresh off the truck. And then I got replacements and they came that way too. Not as much, but still I was like, oh, I guess this is how it's going to be. And the grill, the black fades away really quickly. Immediately I just kind of take like black Sharpie and just kind of color in the metal that had eroded away and was showing at that point. It seemed to get better over time, but something about those speakers never sat well. They sounded great, they worked well for weddings, but I decided to just kick those to the curb essentially as well. In the subwoofer world, I got rid of my EV, let's see if I can remember this, the EV ELX 218 SP subwoofer, simply because I never used it. 18-inch subwoofer sounded great. I used it once this year when I had the Jasper Troopsburg prom in Hornell, New York, but before that, I hadn't used it in 4 or 5 years. I got a new subwoofer. I got a matching upgraded subwoofer for my new KW122s from QSC. I ended up getting the KS212C double subwoofer. And the sound profile when you combine that with the tops is just better than with the EV subwoofer, so I ended up chucking the EV. Having the one 18-inch subwoofer doesn't do me any good anymore. Now that I have the double 12, I also have the SRX 828 SP, which is the double 18 cabinet subwoofer. Yeah, I'm good for bass. And the 212C is actually small enough, kind of comparable to the 18-inch from EV. It is a little bit bigger, obviously. But, it just projects so much more and it matches the sound profile more, so I had no more need for the EV subwoofer. So that's why I ended up getting rid of it. Checking. Now in terms of speakers, that's all I got rid of, but there was one more piece of equipment I got rid of, and you've seen it since day one on this channel. I got rid of the Pioneer DDJ SX2 controller. The Roland DJ808 just outperforms it in every way. I used the Pioneer DDJ SX2 for pretty much every trivia night I had ever since I got the Roland, and I've used that Pioneer controller for about a decade now. It works wonderfully. I used to have an SB2 a long time ago, and I got rid of that just because it felt like a toy. The volume was just, like a radio knob, and I never liked it, but I held on to the SX2 because it had a lot of functionality. But I actually redesigned my trivia setup. My ceremony DJ setup for weddings and my trivia DJ setup are now one and the same, and the way that it's configured, I ended up not needing an external controller for that, so I had no need for the Pioneer DDJ SX2 controller. So that was probably the piece of equipment I had the hardest time getting rid of, especially because I customized it by getting all glow-in-the-dark knobs for it. So that ended up going away as well. So I still have the Roland DJ808. I would love to get a second one, but those are actually proving a little difficult to find. I need to look more into what the differences are between the 707 and the 808. I might just go with a 707 because I'm not using the drum machine as often as I thought I would. I use it outside of DJing but pretty much every DAW has a drum machine enabled at this point. So there's a lot of redundancies in equipment for stuff that you don't even see. But just having the Roland DJ 808 is perfectly fine for me right now, and honestly the Roland sound card inside their controllers is way better than the Pioneer sound card. Not to mention Pioneer is no longer Pioneer, they're now Alpha Theta, and I decided to get away from Pioneer as quickly as I could once I found out that sale was happening, because you know full well there's going to be issues with old equipment and getting that serviced when the company name changes. I realized that I got KW 122s and those speakers were about 8 or 9 years old. But again, that's pretty much top of the line, and while QSC just got bought out by some investment firm and they've pretty much canceled the KW line, that's another reason I was able to get a hold of those really quickly. I was able to squeeze in there and get that 6-year warranty still. So I think I'm good, and I'm going to bed.